Something about her, something about her. She don't need it, you can hold the bronzer.
Hey.
Hey, again.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I think it's pretty impressive that we actually made it to a second episode, you know?
Yeah, I was for a second there this week. I was like, oh, it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. And I was just even thinking about like the weeks to come. I'm thinking, wow, I have to really plan what I do after work now. Like even getting my nails done, you know?
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't realize that I have a lot of like stuff that I do.
Yeah.
During the week.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like the weekends, I feel like the next couple of weekends are just super busy. And I know for you, because you're planning a wedding.
Yeah, I am. I have engagement photos coming up soon, and we're going to Sedona. So it's actually going to be pretty crazy because Thursday we leave. I'm going to get off work at 12. I have a hair appointment at 12:30. It should take like 2 hours. Our flight is at 7:30, so we just have to be at Ontario by 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really easy there because we left to Vegas from there recently, and it was like super.
You can
quick.
just walk in,
yeah.
And then when we get back, we actually had to move the engagement shoot, so now it is going to fall on that Tuesday. So it's 2 days after we get back. So then I'm thinking that Monday I'll go get my nails done. But I have to like plan all of this because if I don't, then I'll like lose a day and then I might not do it and I'll have my nails grown out in photos. So
yeah, and that can't happen for engagement photos.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that brings us to our topic today.
Yeah.
We are actually going to be talking about weddings and just all the stuff that comes with planning. A wedding. I'm going to talk a little bit about my wedding in December and like some of the stuff that I kind of learned from it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think we're going to talk about like my looks because I had like
25.
4 or 5. I guess it depends like what you're counting.
I think you had what? You had you had your engagement photos. You had 2 engagement shoots.
I had 2 engagement shoots.
You had my bachelorette.
I had my bridal shower. And then I had the dolki. And then I had the Mendi, the Nika, the Gai Halud, and then the reception.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of different.
I stopped counting, but I think it got to like 7.
Yeah, there was a lot of looks. Mm-hmm. So I think we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And
yeah. I will. I should have brought a notebook to take everything down because
I don't even know if we're gonna remember it off the top of my head. I guess we could also like, we'll talk about the looks and then we can like link, some of the stuff that I did buy or like some of or at least show like we can link photos so you guys can actually see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because it would be kind of weird to like talk about it and no one really knows what it looks like, but
right. But you can go on your Insta.
Yeah.
And look at everything.
Yeah. So I guess there's so much with weddings. I don't even know where you start. Like, I feel like I guess we can start with planning and then.
Yeah. I think the first thing you guys did was right after Naveed proposed, you like booked your first engagement photos, right?
Yes. It was kind of nice because we already had photos from the proposal.
Yes.
So that was nice because in a way those were kind of like their own photos as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, when I got proposed to, there were photographers there. So we did have those photos and they actually came out really nice. I was nervous about it before getting them because I was like, oh, it's nighttime and stuff. But I felt like they actually did come out really cute. So,
they were cute. Yeah.
Yeah, we had those photos. And then right after that, I started to try to plan my next photo shoot because I used the same photographers. Mm-hmm. So it was like easy because they were there. And I was like, oh, we're going to plan a shoot. Finding a place was hard.
Right.
because we actually were going to do Pasadena, but at that time there were fires, and Pasadena was like super
on fire.
Yeah, it was it was like smoky. And it was actually, we had to change it like a day before, because like leading up to it, we were just kind of like, oh, like we weren't really thinking about it. And then the photographer the day before was like, I think it's still super bad there. So like, we're going to have to change it. Like,
because you didn't want like the smoky look or air in your pictures.
And I was like freaking out because I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I have no idea. And then I don't even remember how we came upon Laguna Beach, but we came upon Laguna Beach, and then we did that. And yeah.
And they came out really nice.
They did. The photographers are really good, so I feel like they're really
know what they're
nice,
doing.
and they edit really well, I think. Yeah, they came out nice. I think with that look, I was nervous because, again, like being Muslim, we have to think about something that's going to like be covering us somewhat, because obviously our parents are going to be looking at the pictures.
Right. So it has to be like a conservative outfit that also like fits our body type and
is white.
And it's white. Yeah, ideally. I do see a lot of engagement shoots where they're not, which are also really cute. But yeah.
Yeah, I was going for white for that one. I ended up changing. The second time we did our photos, I actually just didn't care about that because it was so hard for me to find something white that I liked at that time. So I ended up just being like, screw it. I'm just going to do like whatever color. Yeah. And I ended up wearing black. But yeah, at that time I was like, I need to wear white. And so it was really hard to find like an outfit. I think even the thing I ended up wearing, I wasn't actually like 100% on. I just couldn't find anything else. So I just got it and I wore it and it was fine. Yeah, I think for those photos, I liked how the photos came out, but I did not like my look.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine because you had eight other events to get your nice. But I thought your look was great, and I liked that it was different, and your hair was like straighter, and then in your second engagement shoot, your hair was like curly.
Yeah.
I thought you got like two different vibes too. Like the first one felt like very beachy and like crisp, and I think the other one felt more like warm and city.
Yeah, which I guess kind of worked out because it was around the times that was happening too. Because we took the engagement ones around like August-ish, and then the other ones we took in like December, I think, or something like that. Right. So it was like, yeah. So it kind of worked for like the time.
Yeah, you had the like cool, and then you had the like cozy. Yeah.
And now thinking back to another difference between the two was the first one in Laguna, I got my makeup done, but I didn't get my hair done. And then the ones that I took the second time, I got my hair done, and I didn't. I did my own makeup.
Oh. And we have this, I feel like this way a lot too when you get your makeup done. We always feel more confident in our face when we do our own makeup.
Yeah, I was a little nervous because with photos, I feel like makeup looks good in photos, like when you get it done. Like in person, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it might look a little weird, but then in photos, it really makes a difference. Yeah. So I was nervous for the second one when I didn't get my makeup done. Yeah. I was like, I wonder how this is going to look in photos. But it actually didn't look bad. So I was surprised.
Did you, was that like a decision you wanted to make, or was there like an issue with finding the makeup artist?
I think it was, I think for the first one, I was like weird about the makeup a little bit. Like it was fine. It ended up looking fine, but I think I was like, I don't know, maybe I should just do my own. And then B, like when you do photos, they usually do them like at least like either you have to do it at like sun's like golden hour, or you have to do it really early in the morning to get like the best lighting. So I think we did it. We were meeting really early for the ones that no, that's not true. Yeah, no. We did golden hour, but I think it was just going to be really hard for me to, because where I get my hair done is Riverside. So for me to drive all the way to Riverside to get my hair, which takes a while because I had my extensions in at the time, and then come back, get ready, and go. It just would have been too many like things to do before driving, because we did those in LA. Yeah. So I think it was just too much. So I just was like, you know what, let me just do my own. Because it was hard to figure out who's going to come to my house. And if I went somewhere, it would just be too much planning. So I ended up just being like, I'll just get my hair done. I'll just do my own makeup. Yeah. So it was more of like a timing issue.
That makes sense. What I'm doing is I'm working until 12, and then I'm going to have my hair and makeup artist come to my house.
Okay.
And she'll get me ready, and then we're going to leave. I think our first photos, so we're doing 3 hours, and there's 2 looks, 2 locations, and the first hour is going to be at a park, and that's going to be the more casual look. And then the second 2 hours are going to be at that house in Redlands, and that'll be for golden hour. What I'm thinking now, it's going to be a little bit harder is for my casual look, I would be more comfortable like messing with my hair, like, changing up my look. But now I have to make sure I don't mess it up because I want it to stay the way it is for the last 2 hours.
At the house, though, are you mostly using the outside of the house?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so that's why you need golden hour. Because I didn't know if it was going to be inside, because then I was like, oh, you could just switch them. But
No, it's all going to be outdoors. So I'll have to make sure I don't. Because then I was thinking, for the casual one, I could like throw my hair up if I want, put on a hat or something. But I'll have to make sure that I don't tussle it too much. And then I'm also a little bit nervous because I do care more about the like fancier photos the last 2 hours. And I'm nervous, what if like we get tired the first hour and then our faces start like dropping for the second 2 hours. But hopefully, we just take some caffeine shots right before and get our energy back up.
Yeah. I think you guys will be fine because I feel like with those kind of photo, like it does get tiring, like it does, but at the same time it's not like you're kind of just like being natural, if that makes sense, and then someone is just like taking pictures of you. So it's not like when you're like taking pictures like at your wedding nonstop when you're like actually having to smile. Like you're more like being able to just kind of be yourself and be natural when you're just taking pictures of you. So it doesn't feel as like
you're not as tired. Right, right.
So, yeah, pictures are fun. I love taking pictures. I think because of my wedding now I'm like obsessed with taking professional pictures because there's just something different about them that you don't get when you take your own pictures. So
the way they edit photos too, like I have like Visco downloaded on my phone, but it's still nothing compared to what they can do with photos.
Yeah, no, they do a really good job. Everyone's really different too, so like everyone's style, which is also why I think I kind of liked that I used different people because it kind of got like
you got to know what you were, different vibes.
Yeah. So that was really cool too. But that's what happened. So we did our photos, and then we were planning on sending out save the dates, but that's when like COVID was getting really bad, so we didn't know what it was going to look like. And then I think eventually that's when I started, like, I was planning a lot. So that's when I was booking a lot of stuff. So I ended up booking my photographer for the wedding. And then that's when she was like, oh, I can do, like, an engagement thing for you guys as well as part of, like, your package.
Yeah.
So that's when we ended up taking the ones in
the
December.
second ones? Okay.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, cool. So then that's what kind of happened with that. And then we ended up taking the ones in December. And it actually did work out because, again, like we ended up using those for the save the dates. And I think that worked out better because our wedding actually was in December. So it was good to have the warmer,
wintry look
for our save the dates.
Yeah. And how many, like, so you had 700 people at your wedding. So you probably had like 400 invitations?
Yeah.
But save the dates. I feel like for Desi people, we don't need to like give everyone a save the date.
Yeah, so I didn't. I only sent it to our like immediate family, and then I sent it to like friends and stuff like that. I didn't send it to everyone because they don't really care about those. It's like word of mouth from Amma or Grandma.
Yeah.
So they didn't really save
like
the date.
keep this day available. Right.
Yeah. So that's what I did for that. So yeah, I did do save the dates, which I think is now becoming more of, I feel like in Desi culture it wasn't a thing. I think now it's getting more like common to do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like us growing up, when we would go to weddings and stuff, we never got those.
No.
We just got the invitation.
But then also maybe we just weren't as close to the person getting married, so they probably didn't want to send
That's true.
a save the date to us, so we just never knew.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I don't think they need to go to everyone.
I don't think any of our cousins did, though.
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't remember ever getting save the dates.
But then again, being like Daisy, things don't come to us. They come to our parents.
That's true. I feel like I would have like known though. I don't know.
I have really bad memory, so don't rely on me for anything that's happened in the past. I can't remember where I was yesterday.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the save the dates are cool. I think they're fun. I think it's a good way to like use your engagement photos instead of just having them as engagement photos. It gives you like a use for them, you know?
Yeah. And then like anything just to hold on to forever for memories.
Yeah. So yeah, that was how that went. Planning for my wedding was a mess because of COVID. So we were originally supposed to get married August of 2021. And then, but in like December, January, February-ish, around there, that's when COVID was really bad. So that's when like our families were like freaking out and they were like, no, let's just push it back. And I was like stuck on like, no, I'm going to keep it in August. Like, I don't care. Because I'm like, things are always changing. I'm like, I don't know what it's going to look like in August.
Yeah.
And plus I had done a lot of planning to that point. So I was like, a lot of stuff's already like planned for that August date. Like we already had our venue. We already had our photographer, videographer. We had like all the big stuff already planned for that date. So for me, the one that actually did the planning, it was really frustrating to be like, okay, now we have to like move it all to a different date once you already secured a date. Plus you're taking like the risk of not everyone being available.
Yeah.
So that's like the part that I was like really frustrated with, and I feel like it was easy for everyone else to be like, just change it. And I'm
It's
like,
not
yeah,
a
but
big
you guys
deal.
don't know that it's actually like 10 times harder.
And like all the people you have to communicate with. I also think that like, I mean, it worked out that you did it in December because of like, you know, even like receiving your outfits, which we'll probably talk about later.
Yeah.
But I think in regards to COVID, I think August 2021 also would have been okay. I think February
no, it
was just.
So that's what was funny is when we came up to August, then everyone was like, oh, it would have been fine if we did it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but I just didn't say anything. I was like, I told you guys. Like, I knew it was going to
It was just that like winter rush of like COVID
Yeah.
because people were meeting up with their family members.
But I think like now people know that more. I think at that time it was like our first like big winter that everyone was like, because like then this last winter it got bad again, right? But I feel like
everyone's like, that's just the
that's
thing.
just how it's happening now. But
Yeah.
at that time that was our first big winter where it peaked again. So I think everyone was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you know, sort of thing. But now everyone's like, oh, okay, like December, January, this is when everyone's gonna get sick, sort of thing.
Yeah, like it's like the flu season, but the COVID season.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it would have been fine in August. But yeah, it's kind of good it didn't happen in August because big planning thing is your outfits, getting them done, and with, I mean, I guess even with like white dresses, you usually get them made. Well, some people will buy it and then get it altered.
But with like white dresses or like American gowns, you order them here, and I feel like they know that they have contracts and a deadline, and so they meet those deadlines. Whereas when you like order clothes from out of the country, it's a little harder to have those strict contracts and deadlines, and it's kind of like, oh, well, sorry.
Yeah. So my outfits were a hassle. So first I did go to like Artesia and everything. I did look around, but I had like an idea in my head. And I would go to Artesia. I did like the ones that I saw. The thing about Artesia is a lot of the ones that they have for bridal are like lehengas, which was fine.
And those are the two-piece, so like it ends at your waist, and then you have the long skirt.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I like those, but at the same time, like I was just like a big thing of mine was like, okay, I'm gonna be on stage. Everyone's gonna be looking at me. If I like move around stuff, like my like stomach's gonna be showing. I was thinking like.
Yeah.
Muslim bride. in me was thinking of that.
Yeah, and I actually also do like, I think you do too, when you do see a little bit of the stomach on those looks.
Yeah.
However, because we're Muslim, we can't, again, outfit restrictions. You can't show your stomach, you can't show your arms, you can't show your legs.
Yeah. So again, so that's why I feel like it takes away from the linga. So then at that point, it's like, what's the point of having it?
Yeah.
Because then I feel like it kind of looks weird too sometimes if it's just like that close together.
Yeah.
Like it takes away from it. So yeah, and those were nice. Again, like what I was looking for though, if I was to get it made in Artesia, it was going to be like 2 times or 3 times more expensive. So then I did a lot of research to find someone overseas that would do what I wanted, and I shopped around. Like I talked to like 5 million people on WhatsApp, and I finally found a place in India to do it. And I they were able to do both my mehndi and my reception outfit. And because I was getting both of them, I was able to haggle down the price for both of them. And so it ended up working out really well. And
they came out like really nice.
They did. So at the beginning, and I did tons of like deep dive search into their Instagram. I went onto their like tagged photos to make sure they were legit because I wanted to see what their actual ones looked like that people had tagged them in. So I did a lot of stuff. So that's why I went with them. But to be fair, I think COVID had a lot to do with it too, because in India it's like 10 times. It was 10 times worse than even it was here. And in the beginning, they were very talkative with me, of course, until I sent my deposit, and then it was like crickets. And I didn't hear from them for like.
Was the deposit like 50%?
Yes.
Okay.
50%.
So they did get a good chunk.
Yes, they got a good chunk. I sent the deposit, and they were like, okay, yeah, our next step is we're going to send you swatches. And all that stuff. I was like, okay, cool. Months passed. I still haven't heard anything from them.
No swatches?
I didn't get
for months?
Yeah. So like I think like 2 or 3 months, 2 months passed or something. I still haven't gotten swatches. And so then that's when I finally messaged them, and I'm like, what's going on? Oh, okay. So what happened? Actually, the next step was that they were gonna sketch it out. So I told them what I was looking for. I sent them like inspo pics, but I told them stuff that I wanted to change on it. And then they were like, okay, we'll send you the sketches with the stuff that you want done. So they did send me, and I had to like literally bother them for the sketches. They finally sent them to me, but there was stuff I wanted to change on it. So I sent it back, and I was like, I want you guys to change this and this and this. The mehndi one they got right off the bat. The reception one, they had to add stuff. So then I was like, no, I want to change this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Because originally the inspo pic I had sent them, the neck was high. And I didn't want that. So I was like, we need to change the neckline. But they were like, okay, what do you want the neckline? Do you want it round? Do you want it to be like
square?
Scoop. Do you want it like whatever? So like they kept sending me stuff, and I was trying to think of like if I was to wear jewelry, what would look best with it. So I was like, actually, I think just round's gonna look better.
Yeah.
The jewelry I'm gonna wear. So it was like a lot of going back and forth. Finally, we got down on like the sketch. I was like, this is what I want. This is good. I approve it. The next step was we were going to send swatches. Again, crickets for a while. And I'm like, what's going on? And then finally, like I keep bothering them. They finally send the swatches. They sent a lot, which was pretty cool. Like they did the embroidery separate, and then they did like the colors separate, so you could put the embroidery to see which color you liked.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that was really cool. So then I ended up sending them the ones that I wanted, and then crickets again. I didn't hear from them for like a long time. So I ended up I approved the sketch and everything, I would say like November.
So like 3 months after you got engaged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I started looking like right away.
Wow. Yeah.
So like November was when I sent the money, and then like they like were sending me the sketches and stuff. The swatches didn't come, I think, until like January.
Okay.
And then I didn't hear anything from them. So now I'm freaking out because in my head I'm like, but then at that point, so what ended up working out was by January we had already moved it to December.
Okay. So you were a little bit more calm. I was a little bit more calm. I was like, okay. But in my head, I'm like, I never told them that it got changed. I told them it was still in August. Yeah, which I think was probably a smart thing to do too.
Yeah. So I never told them that the date changed or anything. So flash forward to like May, June, July. I still haven't heard anything. And I'm like, what the heck, you know? So I'm like bothering them. They're like, oh yeah, like we're working on it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I need my outfits like right now. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Nothing. Like they would either like ghost me, they wouldn't say anything, or they would respond like a couple of days later with like 1-word answers. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So again, like it was still around July, August. And now in my head, I'm like, damn, if I did get married in August, I wouldn't have had the outfits in time because nothing. Then I think we were around, October? And I still hadn't gotten them in. So now I'm like, I need them in because I'm freaking out. Like my
And I
wedding
think
is in
October is like when I texted you too.
Yeah.
And you were like, honestly, I'm very stressed.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten my outfit. And you were even like booking appointments in Artesia to like do their like
and
see what they have.
The sad part, again, like I said, is that I had already paid for 50% of both outfits. So that's essentially almost one whole outfit. So like, yeah, I was freaking out. And then finally they sent me pictures of the outfits. And
that like put you at ease.
That put me at ease. I was like, okay, they're done.
They're there.
Yeah, they're there. They actually did make them, right? And it was exactly like it was what I had told them. So I was like, okay, they look nice or whatever. But it was funny because in pictures, they actually looked a lot better in person than they did in the pictures they sent me. So I was still kind of freaking out. I was like, okay, like I'll see what they look like when they come in person. And then I was like, okay, cool, they're approved. Please send them. Again, nothing. They're like, oh, well, we need the rest of the payment to send them because it includes the shipping and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? But I didn't have a choice at this point. Like, I can't say no because they're not going to ship it.
Right.
So we send them the rest of the money.
Crickets again? Okay. Oh, yeah, that's terrifying.
It was terrifying. It was a lot. And on top of that, it's like, okay, your wedding's coming up. You have 5 million other things to worry about. And then on top of that, like, for girls, like, our outfits are one of the biggest parts of it.
It's like the venue and, like, I think the bride's outfit are, like, the focal points. Because, I mean, like, a guy can only do certain things to his suit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I was, like, freaking out. I think... And then, like, yeah, it was just a lot. They finally ended up saying they shipped it, which was a lie because they said they shipped it. And usually when you, like, ship something from a different country, they use DHL, and you'll get, like, a DHL number. And DHL is very good about sending you updates. Like, they'll send you updates throughout the whole process. I wasn't getting any updates. It was saying that it was stuck in... New Delhi, which is where they're from. So I'm like, okay, it's been stuck there. A week and a half passed. It's still there. So I'm like, these assholes lied.
Yeah.
Like, they freaking lied, right? So then at this point, I'm, like, crying. Like, I think I, like, literally broke down. I was, like, crying because I was, like, I've been dealing with this by myself the whole time. And that's when I finally told my husband and I told my mom. And then that's when they were like, oh, hell no. So then they started blowing up those people's phones. And it was, like, literally a team effort in order for us to get an answer. And finally I ended up talking to this one lady. She ended up being our, like, point of contact. And she was like, no, like, I promise we sent them. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to send a courier to see the DHL shipping to see, like, what's going on. She told us this whole story, which now looking back at it was probably a bullshit story. But at the time I was like, whatever, just, like, send them to me. She had said that, so in India, like, when they send stuff over to you, it has to be under a certain amount of money for customs to not stop it, right? So both of my outfits were obviously over that amount. So they were saying that because they actually put the courier that dropped it off there, because over there everything's done through courier, right?
Yeah.
The courier that dropped it off apparently actually put the amount that was in the package instead of, like, putting a lying amount on there, because that's what they do there. They, like, lie about the amount to send it.
Right.
So he actually put how much it actually was worth, so customs stopped it there and wouldn't, like, send it out.
So they have to bring it back.
She was saying that, like, they didn't know that, and so it had just been sitting there for a week and a half. So she was like, now we have to go pick it up, bring it back, and pretend like we're resending something new, and then re-put the amount. So that's what she said. Again, I don't know how much of it's real. I mean, it sounds real, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I think so what we're confused about is because the laptop that we're recording on, I think it went on like a power save mode or something, and now we're looking at a bunch of like pictures that are popping up as the wallpaper. So we're gonna take a quick break, figure this out, and we will come back.
Yep. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
Okay, we figured it out. We are moving forward.
Yeah. Technology is not my strong suit, so.
No, not mine either. I think I have cried having to deal with like technology, like dealing with like the TV, and changing inputs, connecting to your like, what is it, Amazon Fire or Hulu or any of that stuff. I get very frustrated.
Yeah, I normally will just give up right away, and then I just call my husband,
who's an engineer.
Yeah.
So.
And usually it's very simple. He's like, "Did you turn it on and turn it off and turn it back on?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, we had that issue today. He was helping us figure this out, and I couldn't figure out my mic. I was like trying all sorts of things, and he comes out and he's like, "Well, it's on mute." So.
Yeah. There you go. That tells you
how we're doing. Yep. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, going back, I don't remember what we were talking about. My issues with the shipping. So eventually, I ended up getting them again. I ended up getting it like I would say a month before my wedding.
Yeah.
Which was really scary because again, like if I had to get something last minute, it would have been
alterations or
I would have had to get something that was already made, and then I would have to like get it altered right away. And it probably wouldn't have been something that I like really wanted because I'd just be like forcing myself to get something for the sake of having something.
Yeah, and like you took the time to like design and like pick out what you wanted, pick the fabric, the embroidery color and all that, and then to like have to go and just be like essentially off the rack, which isn't like a bad thing, but like you put your heart into something else.
Right. So, I ended up getting it, and they both were like beautiful. Like they came out. They actually, I mean, the place, as much as all that stuff happened, they did deliver. Like the outfits looked really good.
They weren't a scam.
Yeah, they did look really well made. So yeah, I mean, I had, especially like my Mendi one, I had like 5 million aunties asking like where I got my outfit from. So I was like, okay, like they definitely delivered, but I would never wish that upon anyone else, like any other bride, because of how stressful it was.
Yeah. So if like a bride has like time, then like you need at least a year and a half.
Yeah.
So order your outfits a year in advance.
Yep.
Because
or like since we're talking about the wedding stuff, we can always put like pictures. Yeah. But yeah, okay, we're back again. Issues with technology, so we apologize.
Yep. We don't have a producer, so
this is all us. It's a 2-woman show.
Yep.
Plus my husband here and there.
Who has to help us with mics and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, so you got your
mics are from.
Yes. We have 2 sponsors.
Yeah.
We just don't have a producer to like be behind the scenes figuring things out for us.
Yeah. But yeah, so essentially going back to the outfits, again, if you have a lot of time, I would say, of course, get it overseas. The thing is like all the places here, even in Artesia and stuff, like they're getting stuff from overseas too. It's just that they have like probably contacts with these people.
Did they tell you how long it was going to take?
They told me, because when I ordered it in November, I told them my wedding was in August, so I was like, can I get it by, I said the end of June, and they said yes. Which
is like 8 months in advance, which is insane because I've been reaching out to people overseas and they're telling me it'll take 3 months, which is like, that's nice to hear, but like realistically, can that happen?
Yeah, so like places will ask you like when you need it by, right? So I told them like I need it by June. They're like, oh yeah, there's no problem. We'll get it to you by June. So again, like I said, like because of like the horror story I went through, and I'm not the first person to have that. So what happened was when I started having the issues with my outfit, I started to look at places. I actually didn't only look at Artesia. I looked at up north because there's a lot of like a huge Thesey community up north, and they have like a place that's essentially like Artesia but up there. So I started reaching out to people up there, and they would actually like FaceTime you so they could show you what they had in their store. So I did that with people up there, and they would ask me like what happened because they're like, it's so close to your wedding. And so I would tell them, and they're like, they would just kind of like look at me and like, I'm so sorry. And they're like, you're not the first person that this has happened to. And like they've told me like, they were like, this has happened to so many of our brides. They're like, we can't tell you how many times we have brides coming to us last minute, like I need to get something because they ordered something overseas and didn't get it in time.
Yeah.
So that's why, because of my experience and then hearing from actual people that work in the stores and stuff, that's why, like, when I say it, I'm like, I'm not just saying it to say it. Like, it's really a thing. And it's like, they're going to tell you something. But again, at the end of the day, like, they're not in this country. They're in a different country, and you didn't sign a contract or anything like that. So they easily could take your money and run, too. Because really, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Like, nothing. You can't do anything about it.
No. I even, like, for your wedding, I ordered through, we both know this woman who does, like, clothing. I think she's, like, a designer herself. She has her own line of clothing. And even with her, like, I send my money, right, like, my 50% deposit, but, like, I'm not signing anything. I'm not having anything in writing, really, of, like, what I'm expected to get and when I'm expected to get it. We're just going based off of their word. And, like, with this woman, too, we, like, know her, so it feels a little bit more comfortable, but it was also like nerve-wracking. I think we got our outfits in October.
Yes.
So like our outfits also wouldn't have made it for August, I don't think.
Yeah, it took a while as well. The only ones that I actually got on time was the rest of the bridesmaids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
But she was also updated with the wedding date. I think I updated her saying that it was December, so she probably gave herself more time. And we also ordered with her, I think, in February, so it wasn't as early as November.
Yeah. The bridesmaids ones, I think I did just like right away. Like I think I did it shortly. I think I did it even before you did yours in February. So that's why they got theirs pretty quick. But yeah, it's scary. Like, you just don't know. And again, like I said, like, someone can easily just take your money and run, or they can send you something that is, like, garbage. You know, like, you just don't know what you're getting. Or, like, a lot of brides have had to deal with, they just won't get it. So, I mean, like, it's just really scary.
Yeah.
Which sucks because, again, like I said, it's so much better priced to do it overseas, and B, like, you're getting it from the source because that's who's actually making the outfits anyways. So it sucks because it's nicer to actually have to go through that rather than like going through a third party when you're paying like probably 3 times as more because they need to make a profit from it. You know, but it's also like, it's just kind of like
give and take. It's essentially like ordering online. Like with that, I bought a dress to potentially wear to my bachelorette, and it came in, and it's just very like cheap in person, and it wasn't what I was expecting because like it wasn't like necessarily like a Shein $20 dress. Like it was $100, which I'm like, you know what, for a night out, it's not cheap, but the material that came in, it was, and you don't know until you get it. And luckily for like these places online, you can like do a quick return, but like for a wedding dress, you can't do
return.
that.
A, you won't have the time. B, they're not going to take the return. C, they already took your money and they're not giving it back. So yeah, it's really scary. So that whole part was very stressful. I mean, it ended up working out for me, but I know there's tons of people that it doesn't work out for.
Yeah. Are you planning on keeping your dresses?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's always asked me like, oh, what are you gonna do with them? Or like, are you gonna like?
Well, for like the main wedding dress, I think a lot of people keep because then like, you know, if they have like daughters further down the line, they like to pass them on. But like your mehndi outfit is also like super heavy and a lot of work on it. So like, do people typically keep those outfits too?
I think so. I mean, I'm sure you could sell it. I was thinking because they were gowns, but they were 2 pieces. So the inside piece is like a green skirt. So in my head, I was like, I could always get like a top made for it and just wear it as like a linga.
Yeah.
So that's what I was planning. Possibly like, I was like, if I ever have like a family like mehndi or something, to just do that. Like just get a top made for like the green skirt and just wear that. So that was like my plan with that one. Or even if I wanted to wear the yellow part of it, if I ever did, which I don't think I would, but if I did, I could always wear just like pants with it instead.
Yes. Yeah. I think like a lot of people do that. I think for your Nika event, our cousins wore their previous like bridal outfits or like outfits they wore to their bridal events because we were all wearing like a beige or a white, and I think they wore beige white on their events as well.
Yeah, like for my mehndi, I think one of our cousins actually wore what she wore on her mehndi to the mehndi.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so people do that a lot. So that's what I was like. If anything, I'd either like take parts of it and just like redo it or add stuff to it. But yeah, I think I'd probably just keep them because again, like I really liked them. I don't think I would really want to sell them because they just have like meaning to it now.
And then you also had to get an outfit for your Nika event, and you had to get an outfit for the dolki that was thrown by like your aunts, and those are also Desi outfits. But then your bridal shower outfit was an American dress, and it was like gorgeous. So you definitely have to like add the link of that dress to this pod.
That one was from Germany actually, so I didn't get it from here. It was a German company.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I'm extra.
Well, also, like, what was their, like, time on that? Like, oh, because you've had it for a while, because weren't you going to wear it for something else? And then you reused it? Yeah. Like, you didn't reuse it, repurposed.
But then when they came in, I was like, this is perfect for a bridal shower. So then I ended up just leaving it. Well, this place, it's a German company, but they're, like have a legit website. So it's, like, once you, like, order and stuff, it's like if you were to order from Zara or something. It's very, like, quick, and you get updates when it's shipped and all that stuff. So,
well, also it's funny that you mentioned that about getting your outfit and then thinking it's perfect for a bridal shower, because the dress that I'm wearing for my engagement photos, I'm like a little sad because I won't be able to like use it anywhere else. Again, you can. We're just a little bit like, again, like a little bougie and extra, and like don't want to reuse it because we already have pictures in one outfit, so we don't want to use the same outfit for another event.
I said this to you and you thought I was crazy. Until now, it's your thing.
Well, because you were going to just Vegas, so I was like, it's not like anything like it's not like an event for yourself. Like even like Sedona, I think like if you wore like your bachelorette dresses,
and you're still gonna take pictures on these.
But what I mean is like engagement photos, pictures, and then wearing it for my bridal shower are two like huge events for like a wedding. Whereas like I was saying that you could reuse your bachelorette dresses for the weekend in Vegas, which weren't like an actual event for you. It was just a vacation. Right. But like you also post a lot more on social media than I do. Like if I went to Vegas now or like another trip now, I wouldn't mind reusing a dress I've already worn because I don't post pictures in all my outfits.
Yeah.
But like I would post pictures for my engagement and for my bridal showers. That's why I wouldn't wear the same thing. But then again,
would you wear your engagement or bridal shower dress again for something else?
I don't think for my engagement photos, I don't think I'd have an opportunity to. Because one, it's white. And so if someone else was getting married, I would be that girl wearing like a white dress. And it's also like nice. Like, so I don't go to a lot of nice places, you know, to like be able to wear something like that. Maybe like further down the line, if there's like a work party, you know, potentially could wear it there, but I don't know if I will. I think it's primarily just going to be for pictures. And I also see that for whatever I get for my bridal shower. I don't know if I'll ever wear that again.
Yeah, because I feel like it's for that moment. So that's what I mean. Like when I said that about that stuff is I feel like it's like you buy it for this like special moment. So I feel like once like I've worn it for that, like now that's it. Like,
yeah.
I wore it for that. Like
it's done.
It's done. Like That's just like, I think that's how I feel about a lot of stuff. Like, that's why even like with my own outfits for stuff, like, I don't think I would want to sell them because I really don't want someone else to wear it. Like, that sounds bad, but I feel like I put a lot of like my own effort into it, and it was like my design essentially. So I'm like, I don't want anyone else to wear it. Like, it's my outfit, you know?
Yeah. I think you should keep them.
Yeah.
My mom kept her wedding dress, but my mom wore an American wedding dress. And so I'll probably try to squeeze into that as well for pictures. But then, like, yeah, like if you have kids in the future, you could also like offer that down, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, or they could use like parts of it or something like that and like recreate it. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I just feel like when you wear something, like we put a lot of effort into like finding something that's perfect for like these events or for pictures. And so I feel like once you like wear it for that,
Yeah.
like I feel like that's just what it was for and that's it.
No. Okay, so then you did your Nika outfit, and that you ordered from also overseas or from here?
I did. I got it overseas from another company that seems to be a lot more like mainstream though. Like they're overseas, they make their stuff in India and stuff, but they're like a lot more mainstream. So like a lot of like Muslim and like Desi influencers like tag them a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I was a little bit more comfortable using them because I'm like, okay, all these like influencers tag them and stuff like that. But that one too, you had to send like your body measurements, but they had a catalog. So like you just pick what you like and then you just send them your body measurements and then they make it to your body measurements. So that's what I did for the Nika one. And then the Dolki one, my grandpa sent me because for some reason, he's like really into, I think, back in the day he used to own a factory for like clothing. So he's really into like clothing and like material and fabric and stuff. So he'll like randomly, he knows like tons of people in India, so he'll randomly like order like outfits and then send them to like my mom and stuff. And so he had sent this one, and this one was not planned to be for anything. He just sent it to us. And then when we saw it, we're like, this would be really good for like a dolki because of the colors, and I liked that it was a skirt.
And it was really nice.
Yeah. So then we ended up just getting, it was like half stitch or unstitched when we got it. So we had to get it like stitched. Made. But yeah, that's how that one came.
Wow. I think for mine, I have to for sure get my wedding dress, which will be an Indian outfit. I'm going to need to get a bridal shower outfit and then a Nika outfit. But I think that's the only 3 things, like set in stone things that I'll need outfits for. Unless, again, like we have the same aunts. So if they do want to throw me a dolki, then I would need something for that too. But I think I might just go all 3 with the same person that we like know, and just be like, hey, I'm ordering all these outfits from you. What can we do? You know, because it is important.
Even for the reception one, you think you're gonna go with her?
Probably. So what we're doing is we're gonna go on this upcoming Sunday to Artesia and go in person, see what I like, see what they can do, and see what their pricing is, because I have reached out to people overseas, and one person told me the outfit was $8,800, and from like Pakistan.
Yeah, they do that because they think they were stupid. They really do. So they think that people are just going to be like, oh, okay.
Right. Well, that was like extremely high.
Yeah.
And then another person said $3,700, which seems like a more reasonable place to start to haggle. But $8,800, I'm like, exactly how much would they even like be willing to go down?
Yeah.
Because even if they dropped it $3,000, that's still $5,000 for a wedding outfit, which again, it's your wedding outfit, but
it's also one day, and it's like there's a limit to that as well.
Yes. Yeah. I went on a website because I'm making appointments for looking at like American dresses, because I also want to do an American dress for our court wedding day. And some of the websites, they're like, what's your budget? And like I told you, because it's not my like main event, I don't want to spend like over like $1,500 on this. Yeah. But some of these websites, they're like, pick between these, and it's like $1,500 to $2,500, but there's no below $1,500.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's insane. I think for that, what I'll have to do is do like an off the rack, because anything that is less than 1,500 is, I either don't like it, or they'll probably have like trouble with like sizing. But then
but like that one is for your court wedding. Are you still gonna want to do like a thing after that,
like a rehearsal dinner after? Yeah, I think that'd be like really fun to do. We still have to like look into that, but
because I was saying, like, if it's only gonna be for the court, you don't really need, like, you can do like just a really nice like white dress, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a wedding dress.
Yeah,
because like
Revolve
especially
has like
with
some
like
nice
yeah,
ones.
because especially with how like court weddings are now because of COVID, it's not really like what you think it is. It's just like you go and like sign something,
and there's a bunch of like random people in
like
so
that's
flannel.
why I was like, you can kind of just like, you don't need to get like a wedding dress for that, unless you were planning on like doing like a event after that. Then I would say like maybe, but even then you could still just get a really nice white dress.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, and there are like a lot, like even like Lulu's and Revolve have like a lot of like nice dresses that are like better priced than like getting an actual wedding dress. Because the second they say it's like a bridal gown,
it just like marks
they
up.
just
And like Beholden has really good ones for like even like $300, $400. Yeah.
I went a little bit higher.
Yeah, but I'm saying like just like, because in my head I'm like, if it's just the court wedding, you really do not need like anything that's over. I would say like $300, because it's not really gonna.
No, we do want to do more after, and we do want to have a photographer and do just photos with like our family and stuff. And I think that the court wedding day is where I want to do a first look with Raul and like tap his shoulder and have him turn around. And then I think for like my like reception day where I'm wearing the Indian dress, I want to do like a first look with my dad.
Okay.
So like I tap my dad's shoulder and he turns around. Just because I think one, like that day is going to be like a lot more like special for my dad because he sees me like in an Indian outfit, and like is the actual day that he like gives me away. And I think the court wedding is going to be like a more special day for Raul, because that's the day we like actually make it official. And because he's not desi, so it's not like he's always like pictured his like bride to be like, in an Indian outfit. Like he's pictured a bride in like a white gown, right? So
that makes sense. Yeah,
I think that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
Because venues too will ask like, oh, like, are you doing a ceremony? Are you going to do a first look? You can do it here. And I'm kind of like, no, we're not going to do that, because probably do it somewhere else.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, so I feel like that's going to determine a lot of like the type of dress too. Like, because if you're for sure doing like, because okay, let's just say like you were only doing the court wedding and then just doing like pictures after, then like it could just be like a nice white dress, right? But if you're gonna do like a rehearsal dinner and actually like do pictures with everyone, then I would see you wanting something that looks more like
nice, like actual like a bridal.
Yeah, like a bridal dress. Yeah.
And then again, same issue of like, it's hard to find these dresses because a lot of the like ones that are in the like 300 range are like, you know, sleeveless or like backless and big slit going down your leg. And obviously, like, I think what I'm looking for is like solid white long sleeve. And I do like a low back, but we'll have to see how that goes. Because obviously my dad's going to be there too, you know?
Yeah.
So I can't just like get away with like only showing him pictures of me in the front.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Slowly by slowly, I'm just like beating him down. So he might just be like, whatever.
Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want at this point. Here's my checkbook. Goodbye. Go.
Yeah.
Go away now. You know what's also interesting about weddings in our culture is the like dowry aspect of it. And I was talking to Raul about this because during the nikah ceremony is where you like tell the like imam or the priest like how much you're going to be giving to, you know, give away your daughter. But like Raul's like Mexican, so I don't know if my dad is still doing like a dowry thing.
We didn't do one. I
thought your dad had that inside his like the nikah thing.
That's not like a dowry. So that's like a meher. So that's like essentially like if something was to happen like with like you guys were to get divorced, the husband has to give you that money when you guys divorce.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So that's actually money to you if anything happens. Oh, so it's like a little like incentive of him like staying with you.
Well, because like essentially what it is, like back in the day, girls didn't work. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like if we were to divorce so she can have something so she could start her own, or like it could help her for a while until she figured out what she was going to do. That's like what that's for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then that's in the contract that you sign.
For the Nika, yeah. It's called a meher.
Oh, okay. Then that makes a lot more sense because I was like, I really don't think my dad's giving you any money. His brothers like to joke that like they're gonna get a goat. Because you know how like back in the day and like in India, like for the dowry, sometimes like you give like a goat or something. So
Yeah, no, that's not a good thing.
oh, perfect.
Yeah, it's just like a meher thing, and like nowadays, like that doesn't even matter. That amount doesn't matter because we do things legally here. So regardless, like you're gonna get way more than that, or you're gonna have things done. It's just it has nothing to do with it, but you just have to have it to like put it in the thing. So nowadays, people would just kind of say whatever like amount because it doesn't really matter because like when,
well, because I think even like the amount that like he said, I'm like thinking like even if you weren't working, like you'd probably get way more than that, but you are working.
Yeah, but like it's just again, it's just an amount to just say it sort of thing, but like they don't. It's just to have it like in your like Nika thing, but it doesn't matter anymore because now like legally, if you were to get divorced, there's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys do a what's the thing called when you like assign things beforehand? You sign a paper before you get married.
A prenup?
A prenup.
No, we didn't. I'm not that rich. He's not either. There's not really much.
There's no assets. Yeah. There's an episode on Vanderpump Rules where the guy, they're engaged, and the guy says he wants to do a prenup. And like in the promo, it looks like it's going to be like a big, like scary conversation, and like she looks unhappy. But in reality, like when you actually watch the episode, she's just like, okay. And then they go and they sit down, and like the lawyer's looking over their stuff, and he's kind of laughing because he's like, so you have $4,000 to your name. And the guy's like, yes. And then the lawyer's like, well, she has a lot more money than you. And he's like, okay, so we'll do a prenup.
That's so weird.
Yeah, this is like in the earlier seasons too. I'm sure they have a lot more. Well, they all have homes now, so.
Interesting. Yeah, no, we didn't do anything like that. But I mean, to each is their own.
Yeah.
If that's something you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just helps clean things up. If we do one, we do one. But I have other things to look into. So I like.
You're like, girl, if you want to do one,
if you want to do
know.
it, you find the person, you find the contract, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like unless you have a lot of stuff like in your own name, like I would say like a lot in terms of like property and stuff like that, it kind of makes sense. But other than that, like when you divorce, those things have to go through, like it has to happen anyways.
Yeah.
Like you have all of those, like the proceedings and all that, they're going to look into who makes what and how much each person has, and then they base it off of that anyways. So I feel like unless like personally yourself, when you get married, you have like tons of property and tons, like millions of dollars or something, then okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel like it doesn't really make sense. But again, to each is their own. So
Yeah. Sure.
yeah.
So we talked about clothes. We talked about your bridal outfit. Mess up, but ended up being great. We haven't really talked about venues and how that went about. Did you and Naveed, how many venues did you guys look at?
Gosh. So personally, I called and I emailed with like, I would have to say like 20 plus venues.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
But again, 700 people, so.
Yeah. So then it was a lot of me being like, how big is your like
Event space.
How many people can you comfortably hold? Da da da. And then it slowly started to like obviously get limited by the fact that I was like, okay, like these many places can allow that many people. So I think like going to see in person, I think I saw like 6 or 7.
Okay. Including the places you saw for the mehndi, or that was just wedding reception?
Just wedding.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw 4.
More. I'm trying to think of like.
Well, you picked the one.
Yeah.
You saw the one in the Brandview one. Did you go to that one in person?
So I saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I saw around like 8-ish. I'm probably forgetting one, so I would say like 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're making our decision off of 4, and we've seen all 4, and we've definitely narrowed it down to 2, and we're waiting for the proposals on Monday to then make the decision. But like they all have like so many different vibes. So like the one that we saw, the Armenian one in Glendale is like the least, the like lowest on our list. But that one is basically just like a big old ballroom. And the outside's like not anything special, and they have to do valet. They don't like have parking. We also went to a golf club, which was nice. The outside was nice. The inside was like, we talked about it, that like weird V shape. And then the one we went to last Sunday is outdoor, but it's like a plaza type. So it's not on grass. It's like on pavement, but it's outdoors. And then the one we saw yesterday is like more modern. It's like inside a theater. So like one half's the theater and the other half's like the ballroom, and then it's indoor and outdoor. So it's between the last 2 that we talked about, and we get to make our decision this week. So we'll see. I'm really excited because then we have a date, you know? And then once we have a date, we're going to take our engagement photos like coming up. We'll have those photos. I can send out save the dates. I can like start booking like vendors, you know, photographer, videographer, and all of that.
You can't do any of that till you have a date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like a lot of it's like, I'm thinking about these dates, you know, but like they also can't hold these dates if someone else comes to them. But that's why I did want to pick a Sunday, because I'm hoping that they have a lot more availability on that day.
Yeah. One of my best friend's friend is getting married in November, and she's doing a Sunday, but she hasn't been able to find a DJ or photographer that she likes that's available on her Sunday.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping the girl that's doing our engagement photos will have the availability. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because when I did talk to her, the first time I messaged her, she immediately came out and said, I don't have any available weekends until May for engagement photos. And then I was like, well, I can do weekdays. You know, I'm not like, I'll take off time from work if I have to.
Yeah.
And that's when she was like, oh, okay, I have a lot more free weekdays. But because she said she didn't have any free weekends until May, like at least calm me down a little bit, because that means like,
yeah,
she
definitely,
until she does have weekends.
Yeah. 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 So, yeah, the vendors are the hard part too, because it just depends like who you want, and like with like I think the hardest person for me was my videographer, because they get booked up like really fast. So I was really nervous when we had to change the date, because I was like, so I actually like messaged her and I was like, when are you guys available in December? And she told me when she was available.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I'm thinking this day. And she was like, okay, just let me know like as soon as you can.
But you also had them for like multiple events. So like you had to make sure they were available on all of those events. Wow.
Yeah, so it was really, really scary. I mean, like the biggest ones I thought of was the mehndi and the reception. So I knew that those were going to be like a week apart. So I was just like, do you have like kind of this day available and kind of this day? She was like, yeah, I think we do. And what's nice is that it's her and her husband. So like one of them has to be available because they both are leads on both, like on events.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was scary because I was like, and I had told her this in like January, and she was like, oh yeah, like I'm not available on this day and this day and this day. And it was like December already, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, but it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I'll have to still look into like the videography people. I did email someone and I don't think they emailed me back, so red flag.
Yeah, that is a red flag because, yeah,
You should
they
email
should
back.
email back. Yeah, I think that was my hardest person. Other than that, dates with other people weren't like a big issue. But yeah.
Yeah. And then you had 10 bridesmaids.
I had 10 bridesmaids, yes.
You had a maid of honor, a matron of honor. Well, actually ended up being 2 maids because she got married after you, and then 8. I am going to be having 6, but I'll be having, but you don't know.
But half of them are going to be maids of honor.
Half. So it'll be a matron, 2 maids, and then 3 bridesmaids. And you don't know if you'll be one of them. Maybe.
That's true.
By the time we release this, you will know.
So I'll watch this.
So the next our next recording, you guys will get an update on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something else that was like interesting about like the bridesmaids thing was like who is guaranteed a +1.
Yeah, that is a very debated hot topic, I think, for like a lot of people. I was actually thinking about this because I knew we were going to talk about this on this podcast. I was thinking about this the other day when I was driving, and I was saying, like, I truly think that I feel like having a Desi wedding changes it a lot because I feel like and I say this for a number of reasons. A, bridesmaids are usually not really a thing for Desi weddings. A, it's starting to become more of a thing now because we're trying to like blend the two.
Yeah.
But that's A. B, at least like traditionally, usually like your parents are the ones paying primarily, at least in Desi weddings, primarily like the parents usually pay fully for the wedding, besides maybe a couple of stuff or whatever. So you kind of have to be mindful of like, okay, who do they want to invite, as well as like, because if they're paying for it, you know, and then of course like they want to invite your like friends and stuff, but then like how many, like if I give everyone a +1, that's a lot of people, you know. So I think it's like being mindful of that as well. And then C, I think that like, again, like, it's weird because I feel like when people think of like us inviting like 680 to 700 people, they're like, oh, like,
What's one extra person?
that's so many people. Like, what's one extra person? Like, you clearly don't know all those people like to the degree or whatever. But I'm like, we kind of do actually. Like, all the people I feel like were invited on my side, my parents truly do really know them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't want to invite someone random because they are random compared to everyone else that was invited.
Well, they're random if like you know the person that you're giving a +1 doesn't have like a significant other.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think +1s are a guarantee if you've been dating that person for a really long time. I've met them. I have my own relationship with that person. I've hung out with them. Or obviously, like, if you're married, engaged, okay. Like, I think that is like 100% yes, right? But if I don't really, like, if you just started dating this person, I've never met them before, or you don't have anyone, then no, I'm not going to give you a +1 because that is a whole other seat. And let's just say you decide to like fill it up with someone random, like just because you got the +1, that's a waste for me.
Yeah.
You know? So like, that's personally how I feel about it. And especially like with how many people we had, I wanted to limit as many people as I could. So if it's someone that's not, I would for sure not even care to have there, then I'm sorry, but like I'm probably not giving you a +1 because I was trying to limit as many people as I could because of how many people we had.
Yeah, like cutting down the list. And I think like in like American weddings, like you're given a +1 because sometimes you don't know other people there. So when they're like a normal guest, it makes more sense to give them a +1 because it's like you're seating them at a table with people that they don't know. But like for a bridesmaid, you're gonna seat them at the bridesmaids table, and they know the bridesmaids because we've been like planning doing things, bachelorette, bridal shower, and all of that. So they do have people that they know and they can converse with. So it's a little bit easier to be like, hey, like you're not in a relationship, you don't know anyone, but you know everyone at your table.
I do feel like it's different when it's a random guest. I think that if it's a random guest, then you should, because they need someone to like hang out with, right? But when you're a bridesmaid, you're going to be a part of everything from the beginning. So, like, and again, like, you know all the other bridesmaids and stuff like that. So I feel like it is different. But then some people, like, argue, well, they're a bridesmaid, and so that's a big role, so they should be able to bring someone if they want. So I guess it really just, to me, I feel like it just depends on the person and what they want to do.
Yeah.
For me, I just had so many people that unless I really, like, knew most of my bridesmaids had significant others that they have been with for a long time and that I really know, and so they all came. So I didn't really have like that much of an issue with it, but yeah.
Well, I had sent you that story, that bridesmaid story that I saw online. Shout out to Reddit, because I go to Reddit for like a lot of things. And the story was that the groom's sister was given a +1 because she's the sister of the groom, but she's not dating anyone. And so she says that she's going to bring her old friend from, I think it was high school. And the bride was like, okay, that's fine. Like, obviously sister of the groom, like bring whoever you want. Like, it's kind of weird that you're bringing a friend, but like if you want someone to come, then sure, bring this person. And the groom was being a little bit weird, and it took him like a little bit of time to finally like tell the bride, his like fiance, so I need to open up, like, this isn't just a friend from high school. This is a girl that, like, I, like, had a crush on and, like, I dated for a little bit. But, like, it wasn't anything serious. And apparently the sister has done this before at other weddings where she likes to bring someone a little bit controversial. And, like, to her, it's, like, a test of, like, does, like, how the groom is going to act.
Oh, so she's, like, just a shitty person.
Yeah. But can you imagine? Like, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Would you, I don't even know how to handle that situation.
No. I would straight up tell her you can't bring anyone.
Yeah, like, if you're going to bring this person.
And if you have an issue, then don't come, but that's going to be your issue because you're not coming to your own brother's wedding. So, have fun.
I think that's like a pretty good like way to go about it. I would probably say, like, you know what, let her know that like she is given a +1, but you prefer her not to bring someone that has this role in the groom's life. Like, bring someone else, anyone else.
I personally would be like, you don't need a +1 because you're the sister of the
you have all your family.
You know everyone there, so you don't need one anyways. So.
That's one thing we get away with in like Desi culture is like all our cousins and stuff. We don't really necessarily have to give them a +1 because one, like if they're like dating, it's like the family doesn't know, and two, like they are at your family's wedding. They know they're not gonna get a +1.
Yeah.
I got a +1 to yours though.
Yes, you did. That was like a thing that I had to keep asking you though, because I was like, can you bring it? Can you get out? Remember?
Yeah.
I was like,
I think I told you early on too. I was like, no, he's coming.
Yeah.
We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. I think it was more for like the Mendy and like the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
Because like the bigger stuff, it was like, okay, if he's there, like it's just gonna be like.
I think originally like he wasn't gonna come to the Nika, but like your dad was the one that was like. Your dad was then like, hey, here's an invitation for his family too.
Well, because again, like we were talking about, our parents don't know how to not invite people.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they have like any sort of like conversation with someone and like wedding comes up, they're like, I have to invite them now.
Yeah. Like come, join us.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is we have a seating chart. We have a
that
limited
kept happening to me.
Yeah.
Like the whole time for the wedding, my dad's like, oh, I bumped into this guy at the masjid and like I invited him, and I was like. Okay, like
but I don't
officially, know or are they coming?
Yeah,
like...
I don't know if I told you this, but I printed out my wedding guest list for my dad, and he was supposed to cut it he's supposed to like cut people off. He comes back and he's like, oh, I forgot these people. Oh, I forgot these people. And then he goes, oh, you know who I forgot? And then he like says their name like there's someone important. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And he's like, oh, you know. I'm like, no. If I knew, they would be on the original list. Like,
yeah, it's a lot. Planning a wedding is a lot. It's a lot of work. It's definitely like, it's fun, but it's very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see why there's some people who hire wedding planners from like the beginning, because I know the type of person that I am, and I'm very like organized and on top of things, and it was also still really hard for me. So I can imagine people that are not really like those type of people, like it's probably almost impossible. So
yeah, and like there's also like nowadays they call themselves like design planners. So they even just come up with like your design scheme and like your colors and the vibe and all of that, which like again, like I don't have a problem with that too. Like you, like I know what I like, I know what I don't like. I've been like saving things to my Pinterest board like since college. Yeah. So like I can see how like my like design has changed. But
yeah, it's a hard thing. And again, like with the design or like just like planning in general, it's not just about like planning and it being what it is, but it's like you have to plan budget wise as well, right? Because there's so many things that you see and you're like, oh, that looks so nice and da-da-da. And then it comes down to the nitty gritty and you find out how much it is to do it and you're like, oh. Yeah. So it's like, that's another thing that you have to think of is like you need to find something that it's still going to be the vibe and like what you're looking for, but at the same time is something that is like budget friendly for what you're, for what your budget is. Because we can show pictures of like the nicest weddings ever, be like, this is what I want. But the reality is like, can you afford it? Because it's really expensive.
Yeah. That's like one thing I complain about with like venues and their websites is like, a lot of their like pictures that they have on their websites are these like grand things, right? Or they like show a picture of like the like lawn furniture. And it's like that lawn furniture does not come with the venue. The lawn furniture is rented from like an outside vendor. So people are getting this like idea, like, what they can do with the venue space, but the price that you get for the venue is not going to be anywhere near what you saw in pictures.
Right.
You have to make it that.
Right. Yeah, and that's what was like, when I was also looking at venues, that was a big thing for me too, is like what the space looked like without design. Because I'm like, I want to make sure it doesn't look terrible without design, because again, like you have to be mindful of like how much you're going to put into that budget, and that stuff is expensive. Like it adds up really fast. Like, like, because you think about it, you have to, every little thing that is there, you're paying for. So like,
and flowers are just like out of control expensive. I think like nowadays it's like the average that you spend on flowers alone are like $12,000 to $15,000.
Yeah. Flowers are very expensive, and that's just one part of it. Like you have to, like if you're going to change up like tables or linens or charger plates, like even the plates on there, like those aren't included. You have to pay for that. Like, it's just, there's, like, a lot of stuff that goes into it. Like, chairs, like, there's just a lot. So, what is it doing?
Basically, our battery is low.
Oh, okay.
So
I figured this can maybe be, like, a two-part thing.
Yeah.
It seems like we've been talking a long time just
weddings. There's a lot. Yeah, I definitely think we should, like, continue this conversation for a part 2.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, again, thanks for listening.
Yeah. If you guys have anything in particular you want to hear about or questions, like, please comment and we can talk about it in part 2.
Yeah. Like maybe we'll even wait to do part 2 so we can see what people say.
Yeah.
And
and you'll be like farther into your process too. So.
Yes. Yeah. And maybe I'll have a date.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Thank you guys.
Bye guys.